Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you very much for joining me again today for another card making tutorial. And today's video supports the Inspire Create challenge. This is challenge 166, and everybody taking part today is going to be using the theme something new. So that might be new products, as it is in my case, or you know, new baby, new whatever. So if you pop along to my blog link, you'll see more photos of the card in there. There'll also be a link straight back to the challenge directly in the description and in the blog as well, so you can go and see what everybody else has made. I'm sure there'll be lots of new things in there as well for you to have a look at. So do please offer your support and everything, and if you would like and subscribe to the video as well, that really helps me out too. So as I say, it's all about something new, and I've chosen a plethora of new products to share with you today. We're about to have the new annual catalogue launch in May for customers, but obviously I've been able to get my hands on some stuff ahead of time, as I am a Stampin Up demonstrator. So this is what we have to play with today. This is called Flowers of Beauty. Coordinating dies to go with this, which you'll see more of in a little bit. Love that there's a little teeny tiny flower as well to go with that. And you can use these two, as I have discovered, independently, or you can layer them together, and then you've got some two-step elements here as well. Again, you could use these definitely on their own, maybe not so much that one, but yeah. Okay, so loads of elements on there to play with. Okay, coordinating dies you'll see a bit more of in a minute. And then we have this bundle called Unbounded Love. Loads of sentiments on here. We've got, and they are sort of companion sentiments as well. So you've got a keyword like hope there. Hope, and then sort of almost like a definition, is believing in a brighter tomorrow, you know. Really, really nice. We've got a best of luck, which is nice as well. Just a simple hello. Some friend with sympathy, which is always useful. And then, of course, a just for you, and a happy birthday to you and yours. That's nice. So yeah, so a good mix of sentiments on there, and it's photopolymer, which means you'll be able to look through it and make sure it's in the right place and everything. And these are the dies that go with it. So the one on the card there, the scalloped oval, is just missing from there, but really nice set of sort of frames for all those sentiments and things that you can use in lots of different ways. A little teeny tiny one there for the inner rectangle, and a bit of decoration as well. So it's a really, really nice set, even as a standalone, I would say, because even though you've got some leaves, those can be used independently of other things as well. So that's those are the sort of key features, if you like. And then you'll see I'm bringing in all the new colours. So this is a basic beige card base, which are, and we've got some embossing, so I'll show you that in a second. And we're just going to die cut and layer this up, mess about with the layout a little bit. And then these are all in colours that I've used here. I've actually used all 5 because I used Summer Splash to colour the gems. Okay, so that's what we have here. Alright, okay. So introduce you to the colours as we go along, rather than do that right now. And again, we'll mess about with the layout and stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually do the embossing, so I can get this stuck down onto the card base straight away, so it can get stuck down and dry. So what do they call this one now? It might just be called circles. Can't really remember, but it's a 3D embossing folder, and you'll know straight away it's so much thicker than a regular embossing folder. Yeah, I would say it's probably double, really. And you'll feel that it's a 3D embossing folder. But look at the size of it. I mean, it's huge, right? So cutting plate here, and it is the whole, you know, fits the entire space on your die cut machine, and that is a regular folder. This is also a new one. This is called Eyelet. Okay, so you can see how much bigger that is. Okay, so it's practically twice the size. Okay, and so the advantage there is, of course, that you can do either larger cards, or actually you can emboss two of your regular panels at the same time. So I can actually get 2 panels of cardstock. These are my regular 4x5 and 3/4 panels, but both of those fit in. Okay, so yeah, and then you're thinking, well, why would you cut it up beforehand? But if you cut across some embossing, sometimes you can catch it. So I thought it would be better to cut it first. But the other thing as well, though, is that's one thing. You can do 2 with part of that design, and you can see how I've kind of used half of it on this one. So you've got the circles going round across there. But equally, it means I can move this around and make that sort of central point, if you like, down here, or you know, make it come across in different ways. You know what I mean, and move it around. So, just thinking about the card that I'm doing today, and I'm going to just have this central circle I want to have in, but off to the side. So I'm going to position mine there, or whatever, because you can flip it upside down, can't you? Because it's a thick, what I should say is a 3D embossing folder. You emboss with the number 4 dark grey plate. So when you purchase a Stampin' Cut and Emboss, it comes with all the plates you need. And on the base platform, you always need the base platform, no matter what you're doing. It gives very clear diagrammatic instructions and words on what you're supposed to do, what sandwiches you're supposed to use with your machine. Okay, so here's what we're doing. Base platform number 1 and number 4 plate, and nothing else. So we'll just roll that through, lining it up. So just as a reminder, this is what we're going for, or a variation thereof. So when these go through the machine, you should you'll feel a little bit of resistance, you know, as the pressure is applied, but it shouldn't be difficult to roll that through. Okay, and look, it doesn't, you can't slide it out. It's so, the emboss is so deep on these. It's absolutely phenomenal. Just putting all my stuff back so I can die cut in a second. Look at that. That's the reverse. Gosh, loads. So, because of all the heavy texture we've got on there, I'm going to use some wet glue and get this set to one side to make sure it dries, and kind of go around those sort of flatter portions as well. Okay, I want to get it to the edges. Just take some time to do that. Okay, and we're popping it straight onto a basic grey cup. Excuse me. Ooh, chew. Oh dear. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Not a lot you can do when a sneeze takes you by surprise like that. So just some firm pressure on that, just to make sure it's where you want it to be. Okay, just bear in mind as well, when you've cut your layers, sometimes the embossing, because it, you know, it's shifting and stretching that paper, it might end up not quite as square as it started out as, but that one's alright. When I did my other sample, I was like, ooh, that's warped a little bit, but this one hasn't done too badly. Okay, so that's got to just make sure it's all nice and firmed up. Put some heavy on it, heavy-ish on it if you wanted to as well, just to be sure. So we'll leave that to one side to dry completely while we do some stamping and die cutting. So I've got some scraps and bits here. Okay. This is just a magnetic thingy that's helping me keep things tidy at the moment. These two dies don't have coordinating stamps, okay, but superb detail on those, and I've already die cut those ahead of time, just in some basic white cardstock. Okay, so look at that. Lovely, aren't they? And then obviously you can cut those in whatever colour cardstock you like. Okay, so we've already done those two, and then what we need to do is stamp our lovely little elements here. So I've already got some bits and pieces laid out here. So this is our brand new green colour called Shy Shamrock, which we're going to use for this foliage stamp that we've got here, which fits nicely on an H block. Okay, so we're going to just light tapping of the ink pad. Okay, and then straight down, firm pressure all over. Just hold it for a second or two and lift straight up, and you should get a lovely crisp image every time. Just popping open my stamping scrub so I can get those. Oops. Okay, really nice crisp clean image. Okay, right, so there's always new stampers tuning in, so just a little bit of, obviously if you're a seasoned stamper you'll know that. And then the die cut, the raised edge is what does the cutting. Okay, so face down onto your cardstock and just line it up. It won't line up the other way, so you can't get it wrong because it won't line up. Okay, so just look through there, line up the points of those leaves with the aperture you've got in this metal die. Okay, and just a little bit of low tack tape will secure that in place for it to go through your machine. But we've got a, the cutting plate is larger, so we're going to get everything stamped and then die cut everything all at once. Okay, so just pop that onto the plate ready. And then the little flowers. So I'm debating what colour to do the little flowers in. So these ones are what are these? These are peach pie with petunia pop in the centre, just to give it a bit of dimension kind of thing. So what shall we do this time? Maybe I don't know. I don't think I thought the petunia pop might have been a bit bright. Shall we try using the paler pink, which is pretty in pink, for the centres? So here's the stamp that does the smaller ones. You could use them individually, so if you die cut those as they were, you'd end up with like a white flower with a pink centre, if that makes sense. Okay, and if we go over in the peach pie, I think it's just going to give it like a much softer look to it. So here's the stamp that goes over it. So sometimes you want to twist and turn your stamp, and you might want to stamp off as well. That's another thing. I might try that actually. Just get some scrap paper, take off that first lot of ink, and then line it up, and then you'll get a much softer colour. That might be nice actually. Oh yes. Just a bit, oops, sorry, it's just a little bit less intense. That's nice. Okay, that's another trick, especially if you're limited on colours and you want different shades. You can use first and second generation ink to get a different look. And again, we can just lie this over the top of the stamped image. These are like little fuzzy flowers. It probably doesn't matter too much if you're slightly off on these. A little white edge on them. Okay, so take that in place. That one's ready to go. And then this bit is the bit that I used to die cut the other bits and pieces. So I've got that spare, and there's that cute die from the set, which gives you the lovely scalloped edge, but also this like sort of pierced look to things. And I am really loving Early Espresso with the basic beige and actually all the in colours. With if I was using basic white as the like key, actually, you know what? That's basic white. I need basic beige really. Ooh, one sec. There we go, basic beige. It's a good job I was talking then, otherwise I wouldn't have realised. I'd just gone ahead and stamped away with that and not realised I was using the wrong colour. Okay, so bit of basic beige. We'll position that sort of central at the bottom there to give us room to put the die around it. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving this Early Espresso with basic beige. Look at that, isn't it lovely? Right, okay. With the in colours, that's what I was going to say, wasn't it? With the in colours, I think they look really good with the basic grey, pebble path, that kind of thing, grey granite. Now this does just lining that up so it looks like it's going to sit straight in the oval. And again, just tape it in place, okay, and then we can just get all this rolled through our die cut machine, okay. So just positioning those so that I can get the most out of that plate and get it done in one pass, she hopes, which means I'm going to have to cut this down a little bit, which is fine, because I was going to use that scrap, so okay. So all that's going to fit on there. I'm going to aim for this kind of thing. And we'll roll that through. So all three of those are going to get cut all at once. Okay, so this die actually, so even though it's at one die, it cuts everything separately. So I'll just take those off the cutting plate. They kind of get a bit stuck sometimes, but that's totally normal, that's fine. Okay, and then when you peel back your tape, those should fall out. So you've got all of these. They don't particularly lay on top of, lay on top of the actual die cut themselves. But it's good that you can just position them over the top. You'll see what I mean in a minute. And then here's a lovely die for our sentiment. Lovely piercing, like I say. That's lovely. Okay, and now that I'm done with these dies, I'm just going to pop them onto this thing, which just keeps them tidy for me while I'm filming, and then I can do all the tidy up afterwards. And these little tapes I reuse and reuse, so I just stick them on top of the Stampin' Cut and Emboss. So if you are new, if you've got any little loose bits of cardstock stuck in your die, just take a little pokey tool of some description and just make sure that's clean, because it won't cut properly next time if you've got cardstock stuck in it. So just make sure it's nice and clean before you put it away. Okay, and that's our die cut elements all done. Okay, so I've buried my card base underneath all those little scraps. There we go. Right, so now we can just start constructing things. Okay, so we're just going to go with a different orientation of things on this one, just to build in a bit more interest and things. So we're just going to make a much fuller spray, if you like, of foliage and stuff. A bit too close now, aren't I? Just there. And then this die cut can sit sort of centrally there, maybe a little higher, because I want to put a bow on as well, to cover up that sort of messy stuff at the bottom. Alright, so that's where we're headed with that, and then we'll put the flowers on where they fit, you see. Alright, so let's do this. So obviously very textured background that we've got going on here, so I'm going to be using some wet glue. I'm just going to use that tip there just to run along these bits. You don't have to stick everything down. I'm not going to put anything on these outer leaves or even on the bottom of those stems because they're going to be secured in other ways. Okay, so I'm putting that as close to the edges as I can, and it doesn't matter that it's at a bit of an angle either, and you can use blocks to help you weigh things down while they're drying. Okay, so it just takes a minute for that glue to grab, but it doesn't take a lot of time, but it does take time. Might do this one next, and oh no, actually no. What I'll do is I might stick that one in once I've got the sentiment all sorted out. Okay. Same with this one. Just we'll put a strip of glue sort of along those sort of central stems. A couple of spots on the outside there. Don't need lots of this stuff. This stuff is really, really strong. Really, really strong. Okay. If you're new to the channel and haven't seen me before, you'll know I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with wet glue. So it has its place, but generally speaking, when I'm just sort of trying to do some quick layers and things like that, I will go to the Stampin' Seal glue runner. One of these guys, which you can refill. So yeah, I'll go through this like nobody's business. So see the red tape, that's getting to the end, that is. But that's my glue of choice, and there's like a Seal Plus as well, which is extra strong so if you do a lot of kinetic cards or what to call it, boxes, 3D projects, that's what we're looking for, then that's good for those too. I'm going to bring in some dimensionals, I think, for the sentiment, so that it's just raised a little bit over that texture a little bit, and I want it high enough to pop a little bow at the bottom. So sometimes when you've done some layering, you find actually things are going to be a bit too long. So I'm just going to just take my snips, and I'm just going to lop off the bottom of these, which means I can put the sentiment a little bit higher. Okay. On the card. Okay. Trying to tidy up as I go. I'm trying to be really, really tidy. That's kind of, I don't know, just feels like it's not New Year, but it's new catalogue, and I just feel like, right, I need to have an organised. I'm actually going to reorganise all my all my cardstock. I want to have a different way of working in my room at the moment. So I think that's going to look a bit better higher, so I can just pop in a little bit of ribbon at the bottom there. Okay, but we've got lots going on in terms of the texture and everything, but we're going to pop on. I'm actually going to use 3 because that's just a learning thing, because on my original I felt it needed a bit of extra support at the bottom because of the uneven background there. Okay, and the other thing is when you've got a lot of texture like that where things might not sit quite flat, if you put just a generous blob of this wet glue over the top, it sort of helps, you can imagine that sort of seeps through and helps it to bond. Okay, so I want that central-ish about there. Don't mind that peeking out there, I think that's cute. And then we can decide where this guy kind of sits. Okay. And again, we might need to just give him a bit of a haircut, or even just trim it down entirely. So you could almost get like a separate leaf out of this by trimming that die down. Whoops. Like that. Okay. So you could do that as well, and just trim that down a little bit. I'll just take off this bottom section. Which means I can tuck it in a little bit further, because I've got a dimensional in the way behind there. And it'll overlap that a little bit, which is also cute. Because, you know, flowers don't all just sit nice and tidy, do they? At least mine don't. Not that I've got many flowers, I'm not really a gardener in any way, shape or form. Okay, let's pop that in there and just secure that, and again we can just pop a block over these little bits. Okay, and if you feel like you need to put more glue on at some point, then go ahead and do it. While they're sitting and drying off, we'll tie our little bow. So this is Summer Splash ribbon. This colour is going to coordinate beautifully with Coastal Cabana. It's a slightly darker shade. It's going to look really, really nice. Okay, so I always find that so normally I would tie a bow off the spool to minimise the waste of any ribbon. But I tell you honestly, the ribbon rolls are so long, they're so huge, and I don't use a ton of ribbon. Obviously if you're a person who uses a lot, then obviously be a bit more frugal with it, but I don't use a lot, so I don't mind just taking off more than I need and making sure I've got plenty of room to make sure I can get this bow nice and tidy. And I have been known as well, these tails are going to be quite long that I'm going to cut off, but they'll be able to be tucked in behind other things. You know, if you don't always need a bow, you just want some texture added, so these scraps are going to be long enough for me to keep hold of and use on something else. So I probably only want them to be about there, and then I'm just going to cut them at an angle, so that's going to be a nice little scrap to use somewhere else. And as long as your tails are longer than your, oh, that folded over, so that's going to be the wrong angle, but it's alright, it's fine. As long as your tails are longer than your loopies, okay, it will look good. Now that feels like it's a bit big because of the positioning on the card, so I'm just going to take those loops in a little more. Okay. Position that like that, and then we can just trim off those tails a little bit more. Like so. And then I like to use glue dots, sorry, I think I knocked you then, to secure these. So just grabbing one of those off this spool here. Okay. And then we can just pop that into place there. Okay. And the only thing we've got left to do is put on our little flowers. So not necessarily going to use all of these. So I'm going to use mini dimensionals to get these going. So these are the regular ones, and the mini ones are about half the size. And I actually really love that they're hexagons. That sounds really, really daft, but it makes them really, really easy to use, and they're nice and easy to pick up. I actually found my tweezers, so I was having a bit of a tidy up, and I found them. So as I'm putting those on, I'm just going to squeeze into the centres of them as well, which lifts the edges of the little backing papers. These are teeny tiny. The big ones I don't have any problems with at all. In fairness, I don't really have much trouble with these, but just a little bit small. So I'm just going to use these four for now, and then we'll see whether we want any of the other ones to fill in. Okay. And I kind of feel like I want to use the biggest ones and then work up to some smaller ones at the top of this stem thing. So I've it overhanging the sentiment a little bit as well, like so. Okay, so lifting those edges just means they just peel off really easy. Okay, we can just lay these on. So they don't match exactly, but because you've got that freedom to sort of just construct them how you want, you can make it fit however you want. Okay, there's a little bundle up the card kind of thing. Okay, don't know whether it really needs some balance really, because you've got that colour in the middle and whatever, but I kind of wrestled a bit with the whole layout of this, but I think the idea is just to showcase some stuff, you know, and get that going really. Okay, so there we go. That's that, and then just to make sure that we don't leave anybody out, we're going to take some little rhinestones here, just the basic rhinestones, and I'm going to use the Petunia Pop marker. So then we'll have used all 5 ink colours, and the new basic beige, and we've used ribbon, cardstock, dies, all that, blends, embossing folders, all kinds of things that are new and upcoming when the catalogue goes live. I think it's the 2nd of May, I think it is. I don't even have my catalogue in this room at the moment because I keep flicking through it, having a look at some stuff, and trying to decide what to purchase next. So not everything was, they don't let us order anything and everything ahead of time, just a selection of stuff. So there's still some stuff on the wish list that I want to get. Okay, so there we go then, that little pop of Petunia Pop. Oh, no pun intended. The really just gives that a little bit of extra zing, I think. Okay, and there we go. So let's bring that out a little bit. Okay, lots of texture going on in there. This is the original card that I showed at the beginning, just slightly different combination of flowers, the different orientation, and then this is the Pretty in Pink ribbon with Summer Splash on the rhinestones there. And then when I was having a play about, I used white there with that embossing folder, much cleaner, brighter look. I've used the basic beige in the background here though, and then there's the 2-step element on the leaves, and this is Pretty in Pink with Petunia Pop on the flower there. Okay, so this is the one we made today, and they've got some alternatives there in the samples that I've created ahead of time. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that. So I can't link to these products because they're not live yet, but do look out for them in when it does go live. So just to remind you, these ones were called Unbounded Love for the sentiments and Flowers of Beauty. Okay, and then we've got those great embossing folders as well to look out for, which are huge. Huge. Okay, that's it from me. As I say, please do pop a like if you've enjoyed what you've seen today, and pop along to the challenge itself, and upload your photo of what you've made with the theme Something New. Thanks a lot, everybody. Hope you're staying safe. Take care. See you soon.